October 11th is many things. It is the twins' birthday in Parent Trap. More importantly, it is also my birthday. Happy birthday to me. And it's coming out day. So you know that the stars aligned to make me just the gayest. I'm a lot of different breeds of queer. I am gay, first and foremost, non-binary, more specifically gender neutral. I think the term is neutois, which sounds so very fancy, but I just usually just say non-binary. And I am ace, or asexual. So today I'm going to be drawing my two gay wonderful characters, and if you hear any sniffing in the background or any other dog noises, that's my dog. So I thought that it would be fun in honor of coming out day to draw a gay little scene and share my very anticlimactic coming out story. This story has two parts. Part one is where it's kind of sour, and part two is the funny part. So stick around for the anticlimactic, funny, happy part of the story. So I grew up in a religious household, and I just kind of assumed that I was straight. Moreover, I assumed that not being attracted to men was just the norm with straight girls. And this was reinforced by my mom, who also was gay and would say things like, men are only pretty from the waist up. So I really thought that this was normal for straight girls and straight women. Love her. My mom is the best mom in the whole world. But she kind of skewed my ideas of what it meant to be like straight and like normal, like a normal teen. So she came out to me and my brother when I was about 16. She came out as gay. I really kind of didn't understand what that meant, first of all. So I had to do some relearning. Like I was like, okay, like that's fine. And then I had to kind of learn, like, what does it mean? What does being gay actually mean? And once I did that, that kind of started like a period of advocacy and educating my peers. I restarted, with the help of others, the Gay Straight Alliance at my high school, and I was elected vice president that year. So that year was my junior year of high school, and then the following year I was elected president of the GSA, the whole time under the guise of being a straight ally. And it fucking sucks that I was in this gay and trans friendly space and didn't have the chance to be able to express myself and get the support that I needed, but that's a whole other part of the story. So my mom came out, and, you know, I was taking part in the Day of Silence and, you know, educating my peers on what pride meant and getting in Facebook arguments with people about gay marriage, because back in 2010, that was a thing, that was a hot topic. And then, I think I had my first gay moment not too long after. This was at the tail end of my sophomore year of high school, or the beginning of my junior year. I went out skating with one of my friends and noticed a girl with short black hair and a black band tee and just jeans, just like, you know, a normal look. And I remember feeling that feeling that you get when you're walking past a crush and you want them to notice you. Every time I skated past her, I wanted her to notice me. And it was kind of like a panicky feeling, because I was like, oh shit, this is it. Like, this is, fuck. I think I might be into girls. So October of my junior year, Halloween of my junior year of high school, my friends and I were going trick-or-treating, and we were meeting at my, at the time, best friend's house. And so I texted him and was like, hey, I need to tell you something. Can I come over early? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. So I went over there, and we went into his bedroom, and he was like, so what do you want to tell me? And I just started like crying. I was like, I think I'm bisexual and I'm freaking out and I don't know what to do about it. Important little factoid, my best friend at the time, this person is trans, but at the time identified as female. So this person just kind of laughed and was like, it's fine. Like, it's not like I'm like, oh my God, you're checking me out every time you hang out with me. Like, that's just who you are. And made me laugh and made me really relieved, and it was all, it all ended up being just fine. So I felt really good about myself and who I am, or who I was at the time. And I went to to tell my ex, my boyfriend at the time. This is the one, the big bad, who I've mentioned a couple of times before. And so I jumped on a Skype call with him, and what I would typically do whenever I wanted to talk to him about something like semi-serious, because I was so nervous to like have a conversation and I was so non-confrontational, I would write out what I wanted to say in like a Word doc or something like that, and then I would just read it. So I wrote out this big thing about how I thought I was bi, and I read through the whole thing, you know, feeling really good about coming out to my best friend the night prior, and get finished reading it, and I am met with complete silence. And I'm like, so do you have anything to like say about that, or any feelings you want to share? And he just kind of goes, it feels surreal. And I'm like, yeah, me too, because I had just come out. And I was like, yeah, it does feel surreal. And then he just kind of started spewing bullshit at me. He said things like, I don't know, I can't compete with the opposite sex, which doesn't make sense because he's the one I'm dating. He doesn't have to compete with anybody. Asking me really like direct and personal questions, like inappropriate questions, and didn't understand why I was getting upset about that. He said some really transphobic things as well. All in all, it went extremely poorly. So what ended up happening was I ended up staying up so late talking to him about this, trying to like let him know that it's not a competition. I'm not any different than I was before. Basically trying to convince this person who, to me, had told me that he was, an LGBT plus ally and supportive of same-sex marriage and things like that. Trying to convince this person who presented himself as an ally that it's okay for his girlfriend to be bisexual. So, stayed home from school the next day. I went to school the following day and sat down with my friends at lunch, and my gut just was tied into a knot because I had to tell them that I was bi, but it went so poorly with my boyfriend at the time that I didn't know how to deal with it. I was like, I gotta tell you guys something, and they're like, okay, what is it? And I just spat the words out, and they all kind of looked at me and they're like, okay, that's not really a big deal. It's fine. We still love you. Like, did you think that was going to be a big deal? And I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, it was a big deal with my boyfriend, and it means so much that you guys are fine with it. One of my friends said that they would love me even if I was attracted to toasters, and that made me like want to cry, and it was really lovely. But anyway, the whole experience with my boyfriend at the time had soured me so much. It left such a sour taste in my mouth that I didn't tell my family. I was so ready to, and I kept wanting to spit it out, but it would get caught in my mouth. Like I couldn't say it. And that sucks so much. It sucks that I wasn't able to tell my family, who had already accepted my mom, who had come out as gay and was so loving and obviously supportive and wonderful people. I wasn't able to tell them. I wasn't able to express myself at my high school. Things got worse with my ex. Like I said, I was the vice president, and then the following year, the president of the GSA club. Everyone knew that. All of my friends knew that I was very supportive of gay rights and trans rights, and that I did the Day of Silence every year, and that I hosted all of these events for the GSA club. So when one of my friends would share something that was LGBT plus rights related, or gay rights related, or whatever, to me on Facebook, this person who was stalking all of my social media accounts would see it and then text me while I was at school and basically demand to know why my friends related something gay rights related to me, and wanted to know if I was acting like a lesbian. What the fuck does that mean? The stress got so much that I ended up going back into the closet. And I really truly believed that I had been mistaken, which really sucks that that much abuse and gaslighting made me question my own identity, right? So I ended up writing up a whole other thing. Basically, I responded to one of his texts about why do your friends think that you act like a lesbian? And I was like, this is enough. We need to talk today. I'm really tired of this. So let's get on a Skype call today. So I got on a call and I was like, I was mistaken. I was confused. Turns out I'm straight as a ruler and you don't have to worry about me or my bisexual tendencies ever again. Everything is all good and we're gonna get married and everything's gonna be fine. So he never trusted me after that. When he inevitably did find out that I am gay, he basically acted like, yeah, I knew all along, or like, I knew that you were lying. Like, all right, buddy, let's place the blame on me. Anyway, so I continued my relationship with him, and I, eventually came to the conclusion that I needed to dump him. And I wrote out a whole list of reasons why I needed to dump him. The problems with our communication, the problems he was bringing up, the abuse, but I didn't realize it was abuse at the time. Just everything, right? And one of the reasons was I'm gay. I realized this about myself. And I slowly came to this realization. It started with, okay, I thought I was bi before. Maybe I still am, and I'm just attracted to like 2% of girls. And it just slowly like kind of cascaded. And I just slowly started to realize, no, I just am not attracted to men. Like, at all, actually. I actually really want to date a girl. I really want a girlfriend. And that became my rock through the entire breakup process, because that was the one thing I could not compromise on, that I couldn't change about myself. And when he would say shit like, I'll change and it'll be better, I would just look at my list and be like, I can't. I literally can't. I can't make myself be attracted to you. Those were the things that I said to myself, not to him. This was the summer after my senior year of high school, just for the reference, the timing reference. This is the anticlimactic coming out part of the story. I finally got the guts to tell my brother. Our bedrooms were across the hall from one another, so he would occasionally like come into my room and just tell me a story about like whatever had happened in the game he was playing, or a funny video he saw, or whatever. He'd just like come in, sit on the floor, tell me about a thing, and then I'd tell him about a thing maybe, and then he'd leave, and then he'd continue playing video games. It was great. One time, he came into my bedroom, I was sitting on my bed drawing, he told me about some WoW raid or something like that, and finished his story, and like 0.5 seconds passed, and I just blurted out, so I'm gay. And he looks at me and he's like, really? And I say, yeah. He nods. He's like, all right. We talk a little bit about how that was like the deciding factor for me wanting to dump. I almost said his name. This was like a couple days before, right? We have like this deep heart to heart, and then he looks at me and he goes, do you want me to like pretend that I'm not okay with it? Like, do you want me to, hey, God made plugs and sockets, and plugs don't go with plugs, and sockets don't go with sockets. And just started joking around and made me laugh a lot. And then he came over and he hugged me and he's like, well, I love you. And like, obviously. So that was that. And I texted my mom then, who was at work at the time, and I said, hey, can you call me? So she calls me and she goes, hey, what's up? And I go, I'm gay. And she's like, oh, okay, well, obviously I don't allow gay people to live under my roof. This is a joke because she also was gay, in case you missed it. So we laugh and I'm like, no. My brother already took care of the whole acting like he wasn't okay with it bit. He beat you to the punch there. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, I love you. Have fun with your friends tonight, and I'll see you later. End of call. The beginning of like my sexuality acceptance journey was kind of rough, but once I actually came out, it was very anticlimactic, save for one person who ended up, by the way, finding out that I was gay, because I came out to half of the people on my Facebook list. I customized the post so that only a few people could see it, and one of them leaked it to him. This was after I broke up with him, by the way. He gets so mad at me for lying to him all of these years and saying that he can't believe that he dated a lesbian and that's disgusting. And he harassed me until I got in a Skype call with him because he wanted to ask me some questions, which were going to be very personal and very inappropriate questions again. And so I finally got on a Skype call with him and I'm like, so what are your questions? Because I just wanted peace between us. And he's like, I don't even know if I want to know the answers. I'm like, okay, great, thanks for wasting my time, bye. So that's my sexuality coming out story, which is entertaining, to say the least. I ended up, going on this gender, self-discovery journey right before I met my current partner, who is trans-masc. I basically was like, why is it that some days I want to wear, quote, boy shirts, and other days I am fine having boobies? What's with that? And I started looking into it and looking up genderqueer fashion and was like, well, donk. Looks like I got another label that I have to reckon with. Yeah, I stopped shaving my legs and started going by they, them, and I am currently saving up for a breast reduction because since I am gender neutral, I don't want a masculine chest and I certainly don't want a feminine chest, so this is my compromise. This is my solution because, dude, dysphoria sucks. I hope that you enjoyed my entertaining coming out stories, and hug a gay today. If you are able to. Please don't break social distancing rules to do so. That was it. Hope y'all like the drawing. These are my babies and they are in love. I'll see y'all later. Bye! My fucking god, I can't think straight. Unintentional pun.